Title: I work security at a prison few even know exists. We aren't told who the prisoners are, only that they can never leave. One just escaped, and I was the first to review the security footage. I've worked prison security my entire life. A few months ago, I got a promotion. Great pay, full accommodations, and one simple assignment: monitor the facility's camera system. No questions asked. I was told the prison and its inhabitants were classified, even to me. The pay was too good, the on-site housing was free, and I had a family to support. So, I didn't ask. Now alarms are blaring all around me, and I don't know what I just saw, but I can't keep it classified. I have reviewed the footage for the 5th time, my hands trembling as I paused it on the prison's head of security, Harris, and his panicked face. The alarms and flashing red lights of the control room filled the screen, disorienting even as a mere observer. "Ah, fuck!" Harris's voice cracked through the audio feed. The camera zoomed in slightly on the screen he was staring at. The prison cell layout, a grid of green icons, had one glaring anomaly. A single cell on floor 4, in the far corner, flashed an angry red. Unauthorized release. Blinked relentlessly in tandem with the deafening alarms. He grabbed the desk phone next to him with a speed that spoke to both his training and his fear. "All units to containment floor now." His voice boomed over the speakers. "We have a breach. Repeat, we have a breach in cell 4 corner. Code black." Code black. The words reverberated in my mind, the first in the facility's history. Harris didn't have time to dwell on the weight of it, and neither did I. I fast-forwarded the footage, watching guards scramble into action, weapons drawn, their postures rigid with tension. The control room camera shook slightly as Harris grabbed his rifle, slammed in a fresh magazine, and chambered a round. He was preparing to join them when gunfire erupted through the audio feed. I rewound and replayed that moment, trying to pinpoint the exact second the chaos began. The reinforced glass gave me a clear view of the containment wing as muzzle flashes illuminated the hallway below. I could see the flash of gunfire, but not the target. As fast as it began, it was over. Harris's movements faltered. His battle-hardened composure cracked as a low, guttural noise filtered through the intercom, something between a growl and a laugh. I shivered, even behind my screen. Harris stepped out of the control room, entering the pitch-black hallway. The rotating red lights painted his shadow in a macabre dance across the walls. Guards rushed past him, forming a defensive line, their voices barely audible over the alarms. "With you, sir! What are your orders?" one shouted. I watched Harris take a breath, his hand tightening on his rifle. "Safety's off! Shoot to kill!" His voice carried a forced confidence, but the trembling of his fingers told a different story. They moved forward, deeper into the containment wing. I switched to another camera angle, tracking their progress. The cells lining the walls seemed to come alive with the sounds of screaming, laughing, and pounding as the other prisoners reacted to whatever had been unleashed. They rounded the corner, and my breath hitched. The camera captured the massive, steel-reinforced door to cell 4 corner, now twisted and dangling from a single hinge. A jagged gash split its surface, revealing the core beneath. One of the guards whispered, "What in the fuck could do that?" I'd asked myself the same question. Harris stepped forward, slipping on something. The camera zoomed in on the dark puddle beneath his boots. He crouched, touched it, then brought his fingers to his nose. Even without being there, I could almost smell the metallic tang of blood as Harris recoiled. He activated his flashlight, aiming it into the cell. The beam revealed carnage that made me pause the video, bile rising in my throat. Blood coated the walls, limbs and chunks of flesh strewn across the floor. The stench of iron seemed to seep through the screen. One of the guards let out a dry heave, but it was Harris's reaction that haunted me the most. He gagged, visibly shaken, his usual stoic demeanor cracking at the scene around him. The footage jumped as he spun, rifle aimed at a hand taking a weak grip on his ankle. One of his men lay on the floor, torso intact, but legs gone, intestines strung along the floor behind him. The man's voice crackled through the audio. "Behind! You!" Harris turned, the other guards following his lead. The camera angle shifted to capture what they saw. My blood ran cold. A child, or something resembling one. It clung to the wall like an arachnid, limbs contorted, black eyes hollow and lifeless. Its mouth twisted into a grin that stretched impossibly wide, revealing rows of needle-like teeth. I froze the frame, staring at the monstrous visage. It didn't move until Harris did, his voice a choked whisper. "What in the fu—" The creature screeched, the sound shrill and inhuman before lunging. The room erupted into chaos. The guards opened fire, their muzzle flashes briefly illuminating the scene. Screams filled the audio feed, cutting off one by one until only static and the distant wail of alarms remained. The camera feed from the hallway flickered. When it stabilized, the scene was eerily quiet. Blood dripped from the walls and pooled on the floor. Then came the sound. A slow, deliberate scrape. Thud. Scrape. Thud. The creature emerged, dragging Harris's lifeless body behind it. His blood painted a crimson trail on the cold steel floor like a signature written of gore. It approached the far wall, where a sealed door stood. I rewound and played that segment repeatedly, unable to look away as the creature raised Harris by his matted hair. His head lolled, and a weak cough escaped his lips, blood splattering the wall. He was still alive. The door scanner activated with a mechanical ping, a red laser trying to scan his face. Harris's final cry sent shivers down my spine. "No," he said as he tried to keep his eyes sealed tightly. Jagged fingers slithered along his forehead and curled under his eyelids, prying them open, forcing the scanner to accept his retina. Blood and tears flowed down his face as he screamed. The door unlocked with a hiss of decompressed air, large locks unlatching with a clang. The creature discarded Harris with a sickening thud, his head colliding with the wall. I had to stop the footage as his skull gave way, blood and brain spraying the lens. But I forced myself to finish it. The last moments showed the creature crawling through the now open door, slick with gore, leaving behind a facility drowning in silence and death. Its demented form slowly morphing into that of an innocent child. I sat back, the weight of what I'd seen pressing down on me. My hands hovered over the keyboard, unsure of what to type or who to send this to. There were no protocols for this, no contingency plans for whatever it was. All I could think was, it's free. It looks like a child. It is out there amongst all of us. This is my only warning to you all. I will get thrown in prison for posting this, but it doesn't matter. I'll be safer in there than free with that thing out there. God save us all. Thank you for immersing yourself in Whispers of Hollow Creek. If this story sent shivers down your spine, subscribe to NoSleep Tales on YouTube for more chilling narratives. Share your thoughts, and let me know what supernatural mysteries you'd like to hear next.